Oh no! I pulled everything down on the wrong thing.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own the day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out, ay, let's have a little fun now. Ay, I wanna let it all out. Ay, that's what it's all about. Ay, ay, 'cause I deserve this feeling, to have it my way. I deserve this healing. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday, July 9th. It is going to be a good day. Jessica Benson here in Salt Lake City. CJ Hurt back in Memphis in the Grind City Media Studios. We have a busy show ahead. Grizzlies wrap up Salt Lake Summer League. They will head to Las Vegas. They headed to Las Vegas last night after the game. We'll get the final takeaways from their time here. We have WNBA All-Star rosters to get through after Clark and Napheesa Collier drafted their teams. A little bit of extra spice there with a coaching trade. DeAngelo Williams is going to join us as he does every Wednesday. We have a special 191 Collabs guest in-house, and we'll do some WTF. So as always, busy Wednesday. If you can make it through Wednesday, you can make it through any day. CJ, off the top, I have some really good news for you. Some really, really good news for you. Because I know you've worked really hard over these last few Summer League games.
What is it? Is it actual good news? Jessica, I'm not the most well-rested person. And I am not in the mood for your shenanigans this morning. So if you're finished shenan, I'm asking you to wait to shenan again later, okay? Don't shenan right now.
I hate this. You saw the same tweet that I saw yesterday, didn't you?
What?
If you shenan me once, you have to shenan again.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, I was going to try to use it in the show. You used it. Anyway, see, we're on the same wavelength. So I do have good news for you. It's legitimately good news for you. So yesterday, when I finished the game at Huntsman Center over at the University of Utah, game 3, Grizzlies, another tragic Summer League loss, this one to the Philadelphia 76ers. But they gave us a $20 meal voucher, which was very nice. And my girl Darby, who helped run the Grizz social media accounts, gave me the pro tip that there was this guy who had a great popcorn stand upstairs, or this really, really good kettle corn that you could use this voucher on. And it was past dinner time. And I had some leftovers back at the hotel that I was going to eat when I got home. So I was just looking for a little snack. So I go up, and sure enough, I find the kettle corn guy. But I also see all of these treats, like infinite gummy options and chocolates and caramels. And the guy starts talking to me, and he is so nice. Turns out I met Ed, who is the Samoan Willy Wonka. He calls himself the Samoan Willy Wonka. And he proceeded to hook me up with chocolate-covered gummy bears and these like pineapple gummy sours.
Oh, nice.
And he was just truly the nicest guy. And he's going to send us candy.
Let's go.
Me and you.
Let's go.
When I go on a travel trip, I make sure I keep you in mind.
Shout out to the Samoan Willy Wonka.
Ed, the Samoan Willy Wonka. Truly just a wonderful person. Was so sweet. He was going to watch the show. So shout out to Ed. Shout out to the candy. And I needed some candy after watching
What was the best candy?
That final Grizzlies Summer League game. He recommended these pineapple sours, and they're solid. I love chocolate-covered gummy bears, so that's always going to be like my go-to.
That doesn't seem like it would be very good to me.
They're delightful.
I've never had them, so I can't wait to eat
I am the gummy bear queen. Like I lived on gummy bears for years and years and years. I remember when I was interning at Sports Nation at ESPN in LA, every day my lunch was just a bag of popcorn and a bag of gummy bears. And they were like, what is wrong with this crap?
Should have known then.
You should have known at that time that there was something up. But I did enjoy having a little bit of candy coming out of the final Grizzlies Summer League game. And I do want to say, if you out there, Grizzlies fans, who watched the entirety of game 3, including the technical difficulties, because I know the broadcast went out for a little bit too. If you watched that whole game, I want your name, I want your address, because you are a real one. And we should keep a running list of the realest of the Grizzlies fans, because I expected the main guys to sit. Like, this is how the Grizzlies have operated with Summer League, especially when they've gone to Salt Lake City, as they have done the last however many years it's been before they head to Las Vegas. When there's a back-to-back to end Salt Lake City, the main players play the first night, and then they sit the second night because they're traveling that night too. So the game ends yesterday, and they immediately head on a bus to the plane, on a plane to Las Vegas. Their first game in Vegas isn't until Friday. So they now have some off time. They'll be able to get some actual practices in. So I figured that Jalen Wells, Gigi Jackson, Cam Spencer weren't going to play. But then it was also Zion Poland and Armando Bacot, and suddenly you're looking at a third-string Grizzlies Summer League roster playing essentially a third-string 76ers Summer League roster as well. No VJ Edgecombe last night for the Sixers. He's dealing with a thumb injury. They don't consider it particularly serious, but you're not going to risk it in Summer League. So you get a game that features a lot of players who are fighting for their G League lives, are fighting for their spot in the league lives. And listen, all I really care about, one, I like that the Grizzlies put up a fight at the end. That's 2 games in a row where they came back into it and didn't just allow it to be a blowout. They had an opportunity. You had a big 3 from Tyler Burton, who ended up being one of the stars of the game, had 23 points. His 3 with a minute left gave the Grizzlies a 1-point lead, but then there was an and one opportunity for the Sixers on the other end. I kind of like Tyler Burton. Like, yesterday was the kind of game where you're sitting there saying, I kind of like his game. And really, it was just Tyler Burton, outside of who I expected in Jemai Mashak, which we'll get to. He's long. He had 9 rebounds, Tyler Burton did. He played at Richmond for a few seasons, spent some time at Villanova. He has a nice shot, 25 minutes off the bench he played. I think he was brought in by the Hustle last March, and he didn't really play very much. And I think the expectation last night would have been for someone like a Nate Hinton to have an opportunity to have a big game, but instead it ends up being Tyler Burton. That's what happens in Summer League. Like, somebody gets the opportunity, takes it by the reins, and ultimately puts themselves in a position where perhaps you're talking about someone who could join the Memphis Hustle. Like, that's what we're doing here, right? Like, certainly we're looking at the decision on two-way players that will be interesting for the Grizzlies, particularly the third two-way, because the assumption is that Javon Small and Jemai Mashak will take up those first 2 spots. And you've had Zion Poland, who had a tough showing in the first 2 games here in Salt Lake City. But then that's the other thing, is Jemai Mashak hit 3 threes, and that was great to see. Like, he told us he was a better shooter than he had a chance to show at Tennessee, and it was nice to see some flashes of that. He was also involved in just about every defensive disruption that allowed the Grizzlies to make a run at the end. I think he ended up with 3 official steals, but he had his hands on many other turnovers from the Sixers. We know he has the defense. Like, it's really about, can he have a respectable enough shot to find playing time eventually in the NBA? He also did not foul out, CJ, so that's an improvement. We did not see anyone use all 10 fouls yesterday, which honestly was a little disappointing. Now that I've seen a game with my own eyes with someone having 10 fouls, you know?
No. We didn't need to see another game with 10, everybody getting 10 fouls, everybody with 7 or 8 fouls.
No, because the game went significantly faster, and that was a beautiful thing.
It was wonderful.
That was the first game. That was the first game I've seen in Salt Lake City that ran on time. The first game that ended within the window that it was supposed to end in. And I was like, this is how you're supposed to play the game.
I think that first on the first guy, a bunch of third string Summer League guys playing basketball. Gary brought this up on the pregame or on the postgame show, excuse me. It might not mean anything to us, and it might not mean anything to diehard NBA fans. It certainly doesn't mean anything to casual NBA fans, and it might not mean anything for the Grizzlies roster going forward, but it means something for those guys on the court. It means they're playing for their professional basketball lives. We kind of banish really good players to China. These guys on these rosters, the guys who played last night, would love to get an offer from the Chinese Basketball League. They love to get an offer from wherever the hell you're playing basketball in Europe, in Greece, Spain, Portugal. They'd love to get an offer from Puerto Rico. They'd love to get an offer from one of these G League teams in the NBA. And that's what it was about last night for them. I'm not going to take too much away from anything that happened last night, because it's a bunch of dudes who aren't going to be in the NBA for the most part. As it pertains to Mashak, if he's got a good feel for the offensive side of the court, which I didn't think he had, and if he's always putting the ball where the ball is supposed to be. So you saw him in the 10 foul game. He also had 9 assists, and they weren't from him dribble. Oh, here's an open teammate. Here you go. They were just him making the next pass, making the right pass. And if he can do that in NBA games, and if he can make enough of his threes and not be an offensive liability when he checks into the game in the NBA, if he checks into the game in the NBA, the defense speaks for itself. And now you've got a really good piece that is on a rookie deal, and that when that deal is up, he'll be affordable as well. And you can keep that piece around for some time. If because I don't want to make too much about Salt Lake City Summer League, especially game 3 against third string summer leaguers. I don't want to make too much of it, but if that translates to the NBA, that could be a real interesting thing that the Grizzlies have found late in the second round, last pick of the second round.
Yeah, and I think that's always the important thing to remember. Like, Summer League is what's going on right now, so it gets discussed, and it gets discussed more because, we're talking about the Grizzlies and we're watching these players. But any takeaways that you have from Summer League, it's a baseline, right? Like, overall, you can look at good, promising performances in Summer League, and it by no means is a declaration of this is how it's going to be in the NBA. And that goes for the likes of Gigi, of Cam, of Jalen Wells too. And I think if you were looking at the overall takeaways or like an overall report card from Grizzly Summer League, and I think our chat question of the day is, was the Grizzly Salt Lake Summer League a success? 57% of the early vote is yep. And I think like success is very, the bar is low for success. And I do think you consider it a successful Summer League start in Salt Lake, and we'll see it ongoing in Las Vegas. But sometimes I think people are getting a little lost in the conversation around these players. Like, you want good depth on your team. And these are some of the younger players that you're focusing on here in Summer League. And you can focus on the good play of Gigi Jackson and his freak athleticism and him being only 20 years old and how there's still so much room for growth and development. You can talk about how great of a shooter Cam Spencer is and how desperate the Grizzlies could be for 3-point shooters or someone who could come in and swing a game with a big stretch of threes. And then, of course, like Jalen Wells is someone that is the guy expected to be more than likely you're starting 2 next season. And so you're not saying that these players are going to be all-stars next season based on how they're performing in Summer League. Like, you're talking about this within the vacuum of Summer League. And then, of course, it expands, but you're getting a taste, a vision of how each of them fits into the long-term plans of the Grizzlies rotation. And you want to be saying, yeah, they look good in Summer League, because the alternative is, oh no, they look like trash in Summer League, and perhaps there is no future for them within this organization. I also think it gives you a little more tangible look at what Coach Tomas Isolo wants to do. Like, a game like last night, it's very hard to take away almost anything. You continue with the narrative of speed kills. That's the name of the game for this Grizzlies team, defensively, offensively, playing fast, but playing in control. But when you don't have a collective group of players out there who can cohesively play and kind of highlight the various offensive sets, the defensive schemes that Tomas Isolo is focused on, it makes it more difficult to get a clear picture. When you have those guys playing, and I don't know how much we'll see of them in Las Vegas. I would assume we will see some of them. And the other piece of that, Javon Small, I've had a lot of people ask, he is dealing with a groin injury. I did not get the vibe that it was anything super serious. He was getting up and down off the bench, supporting the team during the game yesterday. No official word from the team, but we will see what his status is in Vegas. We'll see if Cedric Coward joins up with the team. He's officially doubtful to play in Summer League, and I don't think it's, the odds are not 0% chance Cedric Coward plays in Summer League. Like, there is a chance. But I'm even more curious just on if he's able to go to Summer League. There's, more opportunities for him to be with the Grizzlies training staff, to be with the rehabilitation programs that exist in Memphis as he continues to work his way back from this injury. But if he does have the opportunity to join up with the group in Las Vegas, like, that's nothing but good, because another part of Summer League is just the bonding experience. Like, one of my favorite moments that I've seen is at shoot around. Jalen Wells and Javon Small were like shooting free throws together, and they were just yapping it up. And they were talking about where each other are from. And Javon Small was like, "Are you sure you're not from somewhere? Like, you have an accent." And Jalen Wells was like, "I don't have an accent." He's like, "You have an accent." And it truly felt like when you used to go to summer camp or like job orientation events that we've all had to do at various points in our lives. Like, these guys are getting to know each other. They have to be teammates. They're going to exist within this organization together. So we will see how it continues to go. But the Grizzlies, 1 and 2.
Did you see Gigi bite Small?
I just saw that video this morning.
Yeah. Types of things happen in the third game of Salt Lake City Summer League.
Exactly. And I saw someone be like, we need Gigi to be more mature this season. I'm like, it's the third game of Salt Lake City Summer League. I think we can chill. And I appreciate everybody at least having a little bit of energy and a little bit of fun along the way. Drew Hill had a great piece with Gigi Jackson that came out yesterday at the Daily Memphian on his attempts to kind of bounce back from last season and take a more mature mindset into this year. Highly recommend that. We will take a quick break here. We'll come back. We had WNBA All-Star rosters decided yesterday because they did the draft process with Caitlin Clark, with Napheesa Collier. And for the first time, we had a coaching trade in an All-Star game. We're talking about coaching trades in an All-Star game. We'll get into that, plus some other oops we missed it again stories when we come back.
You ready? I've been ready. What are we waiting for?
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
These are the Jordan 1, the crystals. These are the shoe that retails for $1,000. Oh, extra crystals. So if your crystals fall off, if your crystals fall off, actually these are the black crystals because they have. So the shoe has black crystals on there as well too. So you get an extra package of black crystals.
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
The Tigers are going to play in November in the Bahamas, the Baha Mar tournament, and the other teams expected to be there. Purdue, Wake Forest, and possibly Texas Tech. So Texas Tech's going to be good. Purdue's going to be good. If you don't have a roster that puts you in that same conversation, it could be a tough trip to the Bahamas.
Yep. The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back. WNBA All-Star rosters were formed last night with Caitlin Clark and Napheesa Collier drafting their teams. And for Team Caitlin Clark, she picked in order Aaliyah Boston, Sabrina Ionescu, Asia Wilson, Satu Savali, Kelsey Mitchell, Gabby Williams, Sonia Citron, Kiki Irifen, and Jackie Young and Kayla Thornton. Napheesa Collier picked her co-founder of Unrivaled, Brianna Stewart, Alicia Gray, Nneka Agwumike, Paige Beckers, Courtney Williams, Skylar Diggins, Angel Reese, Alyssa Thomas, Kelsey Plum, and Ryan Howard. They did it in a draft on ESPN. Some real power of friendship roster building in the WNBA All-Star draft. Caitlin Clark taking Boston and Mitchell, her teammates with the Fever. Collier taking Courtney Williams, her teammate on the Lynx, but also stacking up with the Yukon squad of Stewie and Paige Becker. She only lost one Husky in the draft, which is Gabby Williams. She also took her unrivaled teammates, Alicia Gray and Skylar Diggins. They did make a coaching trade, which is maybe my favorite part, because Cheryl Reeve will now coach Fee's team and Sandy Brondello will coach Caitlin's team. And I didn't know you could do this, but I love it. Caitlin Clark didn't even know if it was allowed, but she said, we're doing it anyway. Cheryl Reeve is literally Napheesa Collier's coach, so it makes sense. But it was interesting given the perception of the relationship between Caitlin and Cheryl. Cheryl Reeve was the coach of the Olympic team that Caitlin wasn't on last summer. Cheryl Reeve recently asked why the Lynx only have 2 All-Stars when worse teams have 3, presumably talking about the Fever and the Seattle Storm, who are a worse team than the Minnesota Lynx. I love this All-Star game because it involves actual spice. Like, as much as I hate some of the discourse that constantly swirls around this league, it does provide a nice match to throw on an All-Star game to give it some legitimate fire. And the coaching piece of it is just one element. Like, I love these teams. I love that you get Paige and Angel on the same team and on a team playing against Caitlin Clark. I love that you get a team with 2 Lynx players and now the Lynx coach who get an opportunity to go out there. And for the record, like, I think Team Fee is stacked. Which team did you think was better, CJ?
Tough to say. I think that there's so much talent on both rosters. I like you, just marveled at the fact that they decided, you know what, we definitely want to get Fee paired with her coach. Let's just make this trade. I thought it was cool that Caitlin Clark rolled with her teammates as well. It's like, okay, who's she gonna take? All right, that makes sense. Listen, man, it's gonna be a good game. This is the All-Star games, a lot like summer leagues. They don't do a whole lot for you, boy. I don't get too worked up one way or the other. But this looks like it's going to be fun. The WNBA always does a good job of putting a good product out there. This won't have the same type of energy that last year's All-Star game had, where it was Team USA versus the WNBA All-Stars. But it's still going to be something that I think everybody will enjoy when it pops off.
I think it won't have the same energy, but it at least has more energy. Like, this is a tiered thing. And again, we're talking about All-Star games, and who cares about All-Star games, really? But I care more about the WNBA All-Star game than I care about the NBA All-Star game or the MLB All-Star game, or obviously NHL did a cool thing this past year and made it more interesting based on that format. But in terms of having enough juice to actually want to sit down and watch an All-Star game, I think this game has it. And like, even though I said Team Fee is stacked, and I do think from an overall depth perspective, I looked at Napheesa Collier's roster and I was like, oh, they've got it up and down the roster. Team Caitlin may have had a better starting 5 because A'ja Wilson somehow fell to the 5th pick, which is insane work. But now A'ja Wilson got hurt last night, so we won't even know what her availability is. I think she tweeted this morning she was getting an MRI on her wrist. The Aces Liberty game last night, Liberty won their 6th straight. A'ja Wilson got hurt in the middle of it. It was really sweet to see. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sweet to see.
I was going to say, it was really sweet to see all those players. Like, I think it just shows how beloved A'ja is on her team. Like, they were quick to get to her, to get to their spot, to get the towels up around her, to try to protect her. Because, you know, sometimes we're gross and like do the zoom ins on the injuries and stay there and watch a player in complete agony and pain. And the whole team was there to be like, no, we're going to shield her from this moment. She tried to stick with it, but I'll be curious to know what the status is for A'ja Wilson, because as we've mentioned, their front court depth has some issues.
I tweeted, not tweeted. What's it called when you blue sky something? I blue skied it.
You skied.
I skied.
You BS'd. We should call it a BS.
Listen, what a fitting thing to say right before I share with you. They're like, oh, they have no answer right now for Ionescu. And then she went out there and went 1 for 9 from
no.
3, and like 4 for 20 from the field or something like that. The Liberty still won, which again, the Liberty, I've been so impressed with them continuing to be hidden shoulders in that tier that's hidden shoulders above everybody else, especially when you think about they've been dealing with injuries to star players, to Phoebich and Jonquel Jones. Phoebich played last night, but Jonquel Jones didn't, and they're still one of the 2 best teams in the WNBA right now. So I think that bodes well for them. I'm surprised with all of your love for Sabrina, that you didn't say Caitlin Clark had the much better roster, because I know how much you love her.
Okay, but let's be honest here. Like, Napheesa Collier and Brianna Stewart are two of the top 3 players in the WNBA. Alicia Gray is firmly in the MVP convo. I also think you have to talk about roster.
Do I have to stop whispering MVP?
Oh yeah, you can yell it.
I can say with my chest, Alicia Gray MVP?
You can confidently say it with your chest. You can get out on that ledge, and there will be people to back you up. They won't let you fall. You need players who care, and I think Skylar Diggins and Kelsey Plum are crazy enough to treat an All-Star game like a championship game. I just think that entire team, and there's chemistry there, like multiple levels of chemistry. We did have, do you know what Stud Buds is? Are you familiar with Stud Buds?
I am unfamiliar.
Okay, it's a Twitch stream that Courtney Williams runs with Natisha Heidman, and they do these like crazy long, chaotic streams. Like they've gone like 4 hours. I think their longest might have been 6 hours, but they've been promising that they're going to do a 72-hour live stream over All-Star Weekend. And Caitlin Clark was on the broadcast last night talking about how she was upset that she didn't get Courtney Williams because she wanted to be a part of the live stream. And I was like, oh my God, they're mentioning Stud Buds on an ESPN broadcast right now. And all you weirdos, stay away from Stud Buds. Protect Stud Buds at all costs, because now Caitlin Clark's going to pop up on this 72-hour live stream. And I just need it to continue its organic beautifulness that it is. Every time I see a clip from it, it's unhinged. But anyway, Courtney Williams posted a video with Natasha afterwards and was like, don't worry, Caitlin, you'll still be on it. So it'll be fun. I think it'll be a fun time. The W has a lot of energy, like social media wise too. It provides an actual interesting All-Star weekend that I will at least be fringely tapped into. And that is more than I can say about others. Also, Caitlin Clark's coming back for the Fever tonight, so I'm going to be watching that game. I look forward to it.
That game is on the channel I think I have. Is that on Ion? Which channel is that on?
Oh, don't say it's on Ion. I thought it was going to be on one of the channels that I could get in a hotel room.
Okay. Yeah, it's on TV.
It's on NBA TV. So you can stream it.
I can get it. Yeah.
I can get it. All right. Other news from yesterday. Oh, CJ, I knew this would just pain your heart as somebody who is an anti-Summer Leaguer, or at least a Summer League hater. However, what the hell are you people thinking? Why the hell are you guys paying all this money for Summer League basketball? My goodness, do you guys not have anything better to do with your lives in Vegas than go see Cooper Flagg and Bronny James? And really, like, what is Bronny James? They threw up one of these damn Bronny James highlights came across my feed, and I immediately reported it. I was like, I don't give a damn about this. Stop showing me this. What are we doing right now? Why are you guys willing to pay so much money to see these dudes play meaningless basketball? You're paying money to watch them practice against one another. Do you understand that? You're paying money to watch two dudes practice against one another. I don't understand what's happening right now. You want to know what's crazy? Yes, I agree. And for people who missed it, there was a report yesterday that the average ticket price for the Mavs-Lakers game in Vegas on Thursday is $201, which is insane. Cooper Flagg and Bronny James in Summer League are not worth more than an afternoon at the Sphere. I promise you. Take your good money, go watch the nature documentary at the Sphere, or I think the Wizard of Oz is there now, the little immersive Wizard of Oz experience. You can go see that.
No disrespect to anybody. None. No. Respectfully. So very, very respectfully. I don't know if there's an NBA matchup I'll pay $201 for. I can't think of. Maybe Celtics Lakers on Christmas Day.
Insane. Ticket prices are out of control.
Awful.
But as somebody who, like, I would pay $200 to go to a Broadway show that I want to see. I would pay $200 to go to, like, a national championship game, NBA game that I really care. I think when I took Chris to the Knicks-Warriors game at Madison Square Garden, those tickets were hella expensive, like way more expensive than I thought for a regular season game in December. But when you just said you're paying to watch practice, it made me think. I was just with my uncles last week, and they just took a big trip to London. And they went to the London Ballet and paid for an experience where you go and watch a practice session at the London Ballet, like in the house where they perform. So it's like a big stage, and then you have the entire audience. and you sit there and you watch practice. Like, you're not watching a performance, you watch practice. And they said that like there were standing ovations and that it was like one of the coolest experiences that they've ever had. And so I guess if you really wanted to watch Cooper Flagg practice and you were so dedicated to seeing him with your own eyeballs and to say like, hey, I had the opportunity to see him in his first summer league, then you could justify it. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying there are people out there who watch other people practice in other fields. And so perhaps maybe it's not as crazy as we're led to believe if we do some like big mental gymnastics.
What's I forget the guy's name. I'm blanking on the great American philosopher who said, and I quote, "We talking about practice, not a game.
We talking about practice,
not a game. We talking about practice." Shout out to Allen Iverson, the only good AI in the world.
That's the AI that we need.
Yes.
Instead we get the AI that we deserve, because we do deserve it. We're all such a mess. One other NBA thing that came out yesterday that I did find interesting was the news that Anthony Davis reportedly had surgery for a detached retina. And I am saying reportedly because this confused me. Shams reported that he suffered this injury during the season, and so he had surgery on his detached retina because of it, which does not quite make sense to me. I think obviously his eye injuries that he suffered during the season could have led to a detached retina, but as somebody who just sat through my yearly conversation with my eye doctor about what to do if I think I'm experiencing a detached retina, like, you don't have time if you cannot like plausibly play basketball if you have a detached retina. You have like 48 hours before you go blind. My dad had a detached retina. My dad was in meetings in Las Vegas, Nevada, and he called his doctor. He's like, hey, it's like a curtain is coming down over my eye. And the doctor was like, you need to be home in the next 24 hours and you need to go into surgery. And then my dad had detached retina surgery and wore an eye patch for months.
The commissioner was in an eye patch?
New World with my dad in an eye patch. It was one of my favorite moments of my life. But I've like existed my whole life being really afraid of detached retinas because they can be hereditary. But what my eye doctor was saying too, I mean, you have no real like warning if you're going to have a detached retina. He had just had a patient who had come in, eye scans were totally clean, and 7 days later called him and was like, hey, I have the curtain coming. I think I have a detached retina, and was in for surgery and did have a detached retina. So basically what I'm saying is either Anthony Davis had immediate surgery in the last 48 hours because he was very close to going blind, or he had surgery on something to prevent a detached retina, which can happen. I'm not always a medical expert, but this is an area that I feel very confident speaking on. All that to say, Anthony Davis continues to have just the strangest injuries that will always pop up in some way, shape, or form. And I hope that this is the last. I won't even say that. Like, I just hope that he's healthy enough for next season, because that Mavs team is going to rely on him. And if they want to reach the goals that they expect to have and be as good and coming out of the doldrums of the West, even though they traded Luka Doncic, even though they have Cooper Flagg now and we're blessed with the #1 pick, you need Anthony Davis to be healthy and to have two functioning eyeballs to be able to pursue your ultimate goals if you're the Mavs.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Speedy recovery. Hopefully this is something he can overcome and be ready to go for the start of the season. The league is better when there are stars in it. Anthony Davis is one of the stars in the league right now. People care what he's doing. So he needs to be out there for just general interest. And I'm not paying $201 to see Anthony Davis practice either. That's an all pro. I know. That's an all NBA type dude. I know what Anthony Davis is. That's an NBA champion. One of the best bigs of his generation.
What would you pay $200 to go see?
$200? Yeah. Jessica, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think there's much of anything I'd pay $200 to go see.
Yeah.
The best you could get from me all day to men's and women's Final Four. They're in the. Yeah. I want them in the same location, and I want to be able to go all day for $200 to see the men's and women's Final Four take place in college basketball. I might be willing to pay $200. Because, see, here's the thing. Sports are much more fun when you're bringing somebody along with you. So I'm not just spending $200 on the event. I'm going to spend $400 on said event. So, like, I maybe taking my dad to a Michigan-Ohio State game Rose Bowl. I'd go solo to a Rose Bowl, and I would be willing to pay $400 for me and somebody else to go to the Rose Bowl. Rose Bowl, I've talked it through. Rose Bowl is the only thing I'm willing to pay $200 for. Not a Super Bowl, not a conference championship game in any sports, not an NBA Finals game, just the Rose Bowl. That's the only thing I'd pay $200 for.
Well, that's good because I don't think $200 is going to get you in to those other ones at this point. Like the pricing has become astronomical, but I do think you could still get a $200 ticket to the Rose Bowl. I think you could. And someday we got to get you to the Rose Bowl. We got to get the show to the Rose Bowl. We got to stop
the show to the
thinking about things like the Pop-Tarts Bowl. We got to set our sights bigger.
Jenna, get on that.
Yeah, get us to the Rose Bowl. All right, I'm going to save Big 12 Media Day started yesterday, which me in the face. I was like, oh, it's Media Day season. And I was watching the local news here in Salt Lake City because that's what I do when I'm in cities that I'm traveling to, is I love to watch the local news. And I turned it on right as the sports section started. And BYU talked yesterday. I realized we never talked about the BYU quarterback situation because I was gone. I don't know if you discussed it when I was away, CJ. But
believe it or not, I'm not tapped into BYU at all.
So you have to find out about the BYU quarterback situation. And we'll get into the Big 12 of it all. But we'll do WTF later. We have 191 Collabs coming through with Oz Atelier, who will be in studio. But up next, DeAngelo Williams joins us. We never know what we'll chat with him about. We'll find out after a quick break.
It's time for our Pick Six, Mike. 6 classics that we're most looking forward to in the 2025 football season.
Las Vegas, obviously, that's the Grambling State University, Jackson State University clash. They're taking 2 iconic HBCU brands going to an NFL stadium in Las Vegas.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Are you ready? Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. And Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
1, 2, 3. Ready, go.
Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Have you talked to Norvell since the game?
Yeah, but we're close friends, so it's not one of those. Like, I think it's a little bit.
How long before you said ha 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 ha?
Hey, you sent him a text and said, you want the box score? You sent him the box score. You want to see the picture of me in the locker room afterwards?
How close are you? Because it would have taken me literally 30 seconds.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
You get to the main event, and you hear the crowd. There's some rumblings in the crowd.
Here we go.
They say, we want truth.
I love how John Cena said when they were chanting, we want truth. You can't handle the truth.
There you go.
I loved it.
He takes the knee off, boom. Takes the mask off, boom. And it's our freaking truth. God, man, he cost John Cena the match.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
There are futures for Aaron Judge possibly hitting 400. Hitting 400 at the All-Star break, plus 600.
Oh, wow.
To have a 400 batting average in the regular season, plus 3,800. To win the Triple Crown is only plus 145.
I don't think he's going to hit 400 for the season.
I don't either. I that would be
Ridiculous.
Yes, ridiculous.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back. It is Wednesday. That means it's time to catch up with one of our favorites, DeAngelo Williams.
I don't know. I don't think he's on yet. Is he on?
Oh.
He's not on yet. So tell me about this BYU quarterback thing.
Okay, I'm shocked that this didn't cross your timeline, for one. But two, this was not the biggest story of Big 12 Media Days. I want to be clear. But I am in Salt Lake City, and BYU is in Utah. So obviously they were focusing on the BYU coach who spoke yesterday. And they pretty much dodged like the status of their quarterback, Jake Retzlaff. But reports say he hasn't been around the team as of late. And that is because a couple weeks ago, he was accused of sexual assault in a civil lawsuit that was dismissed and like appropriately dismissed. But he still faces a 7-game suspension at BYU because he broke the honor code. The BYU quarterback broke the honor code, CJ. He had sexual relations with a woman, which you are not allowed to do if you are an athlete at BYU. And thus, he will have to face a 7-game suspension if he stays at BYU. So obviously the assumption is he's transferring. He doesn't want to have to sit out 7 games. That's a lot of games to have to sit out when you're a college quarterback trying to like prove yourself and go get your money. But at BYU, you still, you can't do that. You can't do that. So they're in a limbo zone of trying to figure out who their quarterback is going to be next year.
You've got 100 and if you're a football player, if you're a basketball player, it's close to 400. You've got 130 some 140 maybe universities you can go to play high level football. Why would you go to BYU?
Money. They're paying. There's a lot of money in this city right now. This city is on the up.
And so if you're being paid, like make sure you factor that into your contract talks. Like, hey, y'all want me to do what? For how long? None at all? Listen, y'all throw a couple more million in there, you got a deal. If not, no, I'm not. I wouldn't go to BYU if I'm a top recruit. I wouldn't let my child go to BYU if they were a top recruit. You're telling me they can't have any of the fun? That's
what happened to Brandon Davis.
Yeah, no. Yeah, they do that, and they do it to good players. They're not doing it to the scrubs on the bench. They do it to stars. If I remember Brandon Davis correct, we're talking about the college basketball player, right? BYU was pretty good that year, and they're like, nope. They were on their way to the tournament. They were going to make noise with Jimmer in the tournament, and they were like, no, my guy, you had consensual sex. No, you can't play. No way in hell I'd go to BYU. If that's what you're into, you got it. Go do it. But don't play like you're into it. Don't play like you're into it and then get there and decide, you know what, I'm not into it. Because very clearly, they've drawn that line in the sand in big old, bold, permanent marker. You're not going to be able to cross that line and then expect to continue to play there once they find out. If they find out, get out of here. No way in hell I'm going to BYU. Three additional million on my NIL deal, I'll go. A year.
Well,
3 additional mil a year.
What are they paying AJ
Dabansky? What's his name?
Wow, we both failed miserably on the pronunciation.
The really good basketball player.
I think it's Dabansa.
Okay.
Anyway, they're paying him a boatload of money to go play at BYU. He better know what the rules are. He better know what the rules are. That's all I'm saying.
He's got to know.
That's all I'm saying.
Somebody has got to step to him at some point on the recruiting trail, right? Somebody's got to step to him and like, oh, you going to go to BYU? You know you can't have no fun over there. Not only is there, I'm pretty sure, I'm just going to go out on a limb here. It's a dry campus. It seems like it's a super dry city, right? Like none of that going on, no drinking going on, none of that. And listen, you can't even soak in peace, dog. Like you can't do none of that stuff. You can't.
If you're married, get married. Get yourself a wife.
Get married when you get there and then immediately get divorced?
This city BYU is different because it has to abide by the school's honor code. But like when I was younger, being in Salt Lake City, the whole thing was like, oh, no one can drink and the beer is watered down. Like it operates as a totally normal city now. Like you can get alcohol in bars on Sundays. I will say the one thing that's weird every time you enter someplace that has alcohol, you have to be, I think it's if they have their liquor license, you have to be 21 years old and they have to scan your ID. So you have to give them an ID to scan. So if I was going down to have like dinner at the hotel bar, they have to scan my ID. And this wedding that I'm in Park City on Friday and Saturday, we've been given like very clear instructions. You have to carry your ID at all times because since there will be alcohol served at the wedding, you have to have your ID available to scan. So that's a Salt Lake City thing. But other than that, like, you know, things function normally. But if you are at BYU, you have to, you know, abide by the honor code. Anyway, the other big thing at Big 12 Media Days, it feels like nobody knows what's going on. Like, it really feels like nobody knows what the rules are. Kenny Dillingham flat out said that. He spoke yesterday and said, like, we don't know the rules. And this all feels to be coming out of the House settlement and the new revenue sharing era and the Deloitte clearinghouse situation on, you know, Deloitte having the opportunity to dub which NIL deals are good and abide by the rules and are the appropriate amount of money. But it feels like things are really moving back into murky territory. I was reading Ross Dellinger's piece up at Yahoo that was talking about media days yesterday. And he was saying that, you know, some of these schools are now making these contract offers that cannot possibly be legal due to the new compensation cap. And some are promising like third-party NIL deals as part of the compensation package, which is against the rules. And some are trying to give cash to high school players to sway their commitment. And everyone in charge is bogged down in legalities. And it feels like there's a certain level of drowning happening. And I'm not quite sure how we come up from it. Because if you have coaches, this is the beginning of the first, you know, Power 5 media days post-House settlement. And if you have coaches, you know, verbally saying at their media days, we don't know the rules, that doesn't feel like it's a particularly good place to be in if you are the sport of college football right now, or just college sports in general.
Yeah, and it's, you know, you say Power 5, but there's only 2 powerful conferences there. Right. And I'd be interested to know which of the schools are, like, if you're going to dry snitch, like, just flat out snitch. If you're going to be a tattletale, flat out be a tattletale. Hey, this school did this. And I'd be interested to know of the schools who are just out here flat out promising the third-party NIL deals and making the agreements to pay high school players to sway commitment. I'd be interested to know how many of them are from the SEC and how many of them are from the Big Ten, because that's where the big money is. And when you got big money, you throw that around. They're fighting to try and keep this as fair as possible, I guess. And listen, the nature of college football is unfairness. College football has always had, will always have the haves and the have-nots. If you're complaining about schools spending their money just willy-nilly, sound like some have-not type stuff to me, and you should probably get your bread up, go get money, and start doing the same thing.
Right, but the whole thing is, like, who's in charge, right? So if there
and that's the other part
now
of it.
we're back in
because clearly it's not NCAA.
Doing stuff under the table, right? And so you're just left in this weird limbo land. And you bring up the point of some schools cannot keep up with the other schools because they don't have the same amount of bread as the schools in the SEC and the Big Ten. I think it was the Cincinnati coach yesterday. He said, "Hey, I thought this happened so that we were all playing in the same playing field," which struck me as a very naive comment. I understand he has to make that comment because he is at a school like a Cincinnati. And even though you are in the Big 12, you are still operating in a different realm than the schools of the SEC and the Big Ten. But like this, fair doesn't exist. Like we spend so much time trying to seek fairness in sports, and sports by its nature is unfair, and business is unfair. And this is a big business, and that's where we're at when it comes to
Okay, I thought it was just me. Jessica, did you mute yourself? Are you sure? We're having all types of technical difficulties.
I think it's because DeAngelo just joined the Zoom
there we go.
link,
is he in now?
And I think it automatically muted me because he's in. Hi, DeAngelo.
Hey, where are you right now?
I'm in Salt Lake City. Where are you right now?
What are you doing in Salt Lake City? What's there?
You didn't watch all 3 Memphis Grizzlies Summer League games in Salt Lake City? I'm shocked. I'm sad. Summer League's in Salt Lake. So they do the Summer League portion in Salt Lake City before they go to Las Vegas for the bigger Summer League. But we've been here for the last couple of days.
DeAngelo, question.
Go ahead.
Would you pay what would you pay $200 to sit down and watch? Is there a sporting event, a concert, a play, a movie? $200.
Yes, I love live theater, so I would pay $200 for Hamilton.
Okay.
I would pay $200 for Book of Mormon.
Okay.
Okay.
Lion King play.
So you're in the Broad. I didn't know DeAngelo was in the Broadway.
That's the only reason why I go to New York, man. I go to New York and Vegas because of the shows, nothing else. I've seen almost every show in Vegas. I got like 2 or 3 left, and I'll be done there. But yeah, all the Cirque shows. I love Broadway theater.
Do you have a favorite Broadway play?
Actually,
or a couple of them?
I do. I do for various reasons. Like Hamilton is one of my favorites because I went in with the notion of this is not going to be something that's going to resonate with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in and I was like, oh, they're rapping. What? Hold up. Whoa. Like, I completely shocked. Same way with Book of Mormons. Like, when Book of Mormons first come on, I'm like, there's like a whole bunch of people in there. There's a bunch of Mormons in there. And I'm like, this is going. And then it plays a little longer, and then the Mormons start getting up and walking out. And I'm like,
oh yeah, they weren't fans. They were not fans.
This is not what I thought it was.
That's every time when I say, okay, so you would get it. Because every time I've opened the show, I want to say that I'm in Salt Lake City. And I'm like, no one will get it because it's from the Book of Mormon. But you get it.
I always say Orlando.
Disney. SeaWorld. I love Book of Mormon. I think Book of Mormon is a very fun show. I know some people don't. I know some people don't like the humor, but I love when a show surprises me. Book of Mormon surprised me. I'm with you. Hamilton was like, I don't know about this. I knew Lin-Manuel Miranda. He had done the show In the Heights beforehand that I'd seen and like absolutely loved. And then it like took over the world. Like I never in a million years would have expected Hamilton to become what it became, right? But it really like reinvigorated Broadway. It gave people who previously were like, I don't like musicals. I have no reason to go see a musical that they really liked. And then it kind of opened like a gateway drug for them to seek out other musicals. So I will always appreciate Hamilton for serving that purpose.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what I'm not paying $200 for. I don't give a damn who is in concert. I am not like I don't see how people pay to see
I'm the same way.
It blows my mind. Like,
so I feel this. I'm with you, and I do pay $200 for Broadway shows because they matter to me. Like I would go pay. Right now, I'm just tracking. There's a production of Evita on the West End in London that's going to transfer to Broadway that stars Rachel Zegler, and I'd pay $250 to go see it if that's what it surged up to because a lot of people are going to want to see it. But I'm the exact same way as you. I will not pay that to go see a concert. I would have killed to see Cowboy Carter, but I was not going to pay $500 to go see Cowboy Carter. And I don't know why my brain separates concerts from live theater, but it just does. Like I cannot do it.
Yeah, like I don't. If I want to see some choreographed music and some really beautiful singing, then I go to Broadway. If I want to hear an album, I'll pop in your CD or I'll stream it. I don't understand how you go to a concert, see said person perform in concert, and somebody be like, "So how did you like the performance?" Like, are you going for the performance or are you going for the music? And if you're going for a combination of both, you're still doing yourself an injustice because those tickets to me doesn't justify like going to. I have a homeboy that go to concerts all the time, and I think it's the stupidest thing ever. He absolutely get hammered. He's like, I gotta get hammered in order to go to a concert. And I'm like, if that's what you have to do to get yourself to a concert, maybe that's not for you, bro.
Yeah, that's where I really like a festival though, because I can get tickets to a festival where I see multiple acts. Then for whatever reason, I can like do the.
No, you're not going to the festival for the concerts. You're going to the festival for the festivities. Like, this is like cool.
But if you're going to a music festival, you're going for the lineup, right? Like there's enough people on that lineup that make you pull the trigger on a more expensive ticket.
So I'll tell you what I mean by that. Like I go to Comic-Con and it doesn't matter who's at Comic-Con. I only go because of the pageantry and the festivities, because it is unbelievable seeing all the people dressed up, like the pageantry, right? Like it draws me in, and I'm just like, and I'm a people watcher, so I'm like, dude, this is crazy. Like, wow, and I can get engulfed in that. Doesn't matter who's performing. And again, like you said, like if one of your favorite bands was performing and you got there and you're on the 177th row because you didn't know you paid that money, you still gonna have a great time as if you was on the front row, not because of who's performing, but because of the festivities. And like, if everybody's energy dead, I don't care how much you pay for that ticket, you're gonna be like, this concert sucked.
Yeah. But that is where, like, with these newer shows, like Beyonce's tour is crazy. It's a show in itself, right? Like, it's almost like a Broadway show because it's like a whole production element of it. Like Taylor Swift's Eras tour. Like, I didn't go to that, but the people who did said that it was like a storytelling and going through all the different eras. And so there's more to it. And you were guaranteed to hear the songs that you wanted to hear for the most part. You're never going to hear every song that you want to hear at a concert. But I feel like most concerts, it's such a crapshoot on if you're even going to hear what you want to hear. Like if you have a favorite song by an artist and it came out like 3 albums ago, they might not do it on the current tour that they're doing a concert for. You know what I mean?
There was only one artist that could have took all my money. It didn't matter what he wanted to pay for those tickets. I would have paid it, no questions asked. That's Michael Jackson. But because he's dead, I can now keep my money in my damn pocket, and I ain't got to worry about it.
DeAngelo, I hate to be short with you, but we have a guest coming in studio. So unfortunately, we have to go. But we could talk Broadway all summer. So
yeah, you see, CJ couldn't say anything because he can't relate.
No, he does. He knows. He goes to the theater. That man's at the Orpheum.
I am cultured, DeAngelo. Don't play with me. Don't let the Ninja Turtle hat and shirt fool you.
We're all gonna see The Wiz in 2 weeks.
You going to see The Wiz?
Yeah, it's coming to Memphis in 2 weeks. I can't wait.
So damn proud of you.
You've seen it before. Megan is the one who hadn't seen The Wiz.
I've seen The Wiz.
What? Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did this whole thing. You made Megan really upset, attacking her about not seeing The Wiz. You don't remember? It was one of the best shows we've ever done.
Yeah, like this is like being white and not seeing like Little House on the Prairie or Casablanca. It's like a rite of passage.
Not Little House on the Prairie. Come on and ease on down. Ease on the road. Come on and ease on down. Okay, we'll see you later, DeAngelo.
Okay, last thought. Is Chris with you?
No, I'm by myself. He's meeting me on Friday. We have a wedding here too. It's a long story. He's flying in on Friday.
I just want to let you know, Chris is your best half. I just want to let you know that, like, I mean, you'll always be second best in my book, but being best is always good.
That's okay. He is my better half, so I appreciate it. We'll see you next time, DeAngelo.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
That was DeAngelo Williams. We have to take a break because we have a special guest. 191 Collabs is back for next season. They have a special summer collaboration coming up, and we are going to have Odd Atelier in studio to talk about their new collection that comes out in just a couple days. We'll catch up with Oz on the other side.
Have you always dreamed of entertaining on the biggest stage in Memphis? The Clark Crew is looking for members to join their team for the 2025-2026 season. Clark Crew members are hardworking, high-energy entertainers who assist Grizzlies home games by hyping up the crowd and much more. Not only do they support the Grizzlies at home games, but also promote in Memphis and across the Mid-South. Open auditions are Saturday, August 9th at FedEx Forum. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions for more information and to register today.
The First Ladies of FedEx Forum, the Grizz Girls, are known across the NBA for setting the standard for professional dance and entertainment, and they are looking for dancers to join their team for the 2025-2026 season. With the chance to gain professional dance experience, collaborate with national and local artists, and connect with the Memphis community, auditioning for the Grizz Girls is an opportunity you do not want to miss. Come show up and show out at Open Call Auditions. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Catch us if you can at Southland Casino Hotel and win your share of up to $1.8 million in free play and prizes. Join us for drawings every Saturday in May, June, and July. Each month, over 900 winners will take home free play or drive off in a new car or motorcycle. Be there for all 6 grand finale drawings and try to catch us if you can, only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
These are the Jordan 1, the crystals. These are the shoe that retails for $1,000. Oh, extra crystals. So if your crystals fall off, if your crystals fall off, actually these are the black crystals because they have. So the shoe has black crystals on there as well too. So you get an extra package of black crystals.
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
There are futures for Aaron Judge possibly hitting 400. Hitting 400 at the All-Star break, plus 600.
Oh, wow.
To have a 400 batting average in the regular season, plus 3,800. To win the Triple Crown is only plus 145.
I don't think he's going to hit 400 for the season.
I don't either. I that would be
ridiculous.
Yes, ridiculous.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
It's time for our Pick Six, Mike. 6 classics that we're most looking forward to in the 2025 football season.
Las Vegas, obviously, that's the Grambling State University, Jackson State University clash. They're taking 2 iconic HBCU brands going to an NFL stadium in Las Vegas.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Collabs is back for the 2025-2026 Memphis Grizzlies season and is now presented by the official bank of the Memphis Grizzlies, Pinnacle Financial Partners. And this year we will have our first ever summer drop. The Grizzlies have partnered with Odds Atelier for the Wavy Through It All collection. It drops Friday, July 11th, and we have Kid from Odds joining us this morning. Kid, how's it going back there in Memphis?
It's going well. It's going really well. Appreciate y'all for having me.
Absolutely. We're super excited about this collection, just 2 days away from the drop now. What was the inspiration behind this collection? It's called Wavy Through It All.
Yeah, Wavy Through It All is, it's all about perseverance, style, actually the energy that we've curated over the past couple of years and, just being, persistent and consistent, at all times, you know what I'm saying? So we wanted to implement that with design and, some different fabrics and textures, and that's what we came out with.
Yeah, before we get into the collection itself, I'm so curious because you talk about perseverance and just keeping at it. You guys have a great shop on Main that's been open for a few years now. What was your original kind of hope with that store, and how have you seen it continue to grow and ultimately leading to opportunities like this one with the Grizz?
Man, that's a great question. Really just, it was all about being in a space where you can call home, kind of like the whole Cheers method. Like, no matter where you are, everybody knows your name when you walk in. Very personable, but yet still kind of self-explanatory when you walk in. Where we see it going now is, we're actually doing a little retooling. We've done some retooling. And it's more so about Odds worldwide now, where everything is centered around being more mobile. Odds was never really meant to be just 4 walls. You know what I'm saying? It's a real lifestyle. It's a real way of going about doing things and just moving around. You know what I'm saying? So we want to be a lot more mobile, i.e. the Odds Smash and Grab, which was going to be an actual physical location, but it allows us to be able to be where we can meet the people where they are, so to speak.
Odds, the store where everybody knows your name, but ultimately a brand where you hope that everybody around the world, not just Memphis, knows what Odds is. How do you describe the style of Odds to people who are just learning about it for the first time?
Odds is freedom. You know what I'm saying? Odds is definitely freedom. It allows you to express yourself however you're feeling. I always tell people, when it comes to fashion, you can kind of tell how a person feels, that day by, what they're wearing. If it's one of those long days, you just trying to get through the day. You just, that person may have some sweats on and, a ball cap or whatever the case may be. But, typically when, you're heading to some space where, okay, I'm about to have cocktails or whatever the case may be, it's expressed by that, those specific garments that person is wearing. So it's just another form of expression, and freedom. You know what I mean?
How did you first find yourself interested in fashion? What did that journey look like for you?
Oh man, it's probably like learning how to do your first layup. You know what I mean? That's been in me. My mom and my dad really instilled that in me as a kid. Getting the new Jordans or the Nike Cortezes. Some of my most earliest memories are like waiting on color drops for them Sox jerseys when they started mixing and mingling with allowing White Sox jerseys to come out with different colorways and stuff like that. It was a thing, you know what I'm saying? So it just kind of stuck with me. It's been a part of my life, all my life, from what I can remember, you know what I mean? So, again, expression.
Are you a White Sox fan?
I love that.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Oh.
Of course.
How'd you end up a White Sox fan?
All my family, yeah. Southside, yep.
So take me through this collection with the Grizzlies for a 191 collab. It's wavy through it all. We have a 3-piece set. It is bright. It is bold. The second I saw it, I was like, oh, this is perfect for summer. So what are the options that people will have when it drops in 2 days?
For one, we have the mother of pearl, the crown that we have. It's a hat, it's a snapback, but that's one of those. We had an opportunity. We had a blank canvas, right? So we knew that the drop was going to be in the hotter months, so we wanted to go with some pastel colorways and mix it up with some pearls and things of that nature. So that's probably that's probably my favorite out of the whole drop or whatever. Then we have the BMX jersey. Lightweighted, so you can still wear it like now, but also you can wear it, in the colder months. It's a heavier mesh, but still breathable. And then we have the shooting shirt. That's probably one of the biggest concepts that we were able to pull off in such a short amount of time. It just brings me back to me personally, back to those days, those earlier years when MJ came. They would warm up in those type of shirts. And then, the breakaway, and then just get ready to go ball out. So we wanted to bring that to the city that we love so much. So yeah, and make it fashionable.
Yeah, and I love it's so fun and it's so versatile too, right? Like you've now with the collection that 191 Collabs did with Odds last season, you had the hockey jersey, you have, like you said, a BMX jersey, you have the tearaway. Just how important is it to you to kind of use the inspiration from other sports and just like the world of sports, I guess, to create a collection of clothes that just normal people can wear?
Man, I love that question. It's very important, when you think about it, being able to pull, we look at it like cooking, you know what I mean? The culinaries, one of my favorite art forms, and pulling those little hints from different, whether it be sports or, something that reminds you of home, and just putting it all into one pot and allowing that pot to boil and simmer. And hopefully it tastes as good as it smells when it's finished. And so, that's a big part of our storytelling method.
This collection smells like Starburst to me. Like, I don't know why. That's what I just thought of. Like the taste and the smell. Like it just looks like Starburst or Skittles or something bright, something fun, something that you just like, gravitate to because it's so vibrant. I always ask all of our 191 Collabs designers this question. If you could collaborate with any designer in the fashion world for a future project, who would it be and why?
Well, most people will probably say individuals like Pharrell, Virgil, things of that nature, because it's current right now, right? I probably would do somebody like Clark and Napheesa, somebody who saw all of the, really helped break down all the barriers into fashion, especially for the African American race, and just be able to pick his brain rather. Things that he saw, some things that I could probably avoid, and how I can implement some of that old methodology or technology with this current climate. So, and that's kind of our whole method anyway, introducing and mixing old with new, coming up with something special.
Is it hard to like focus on the tech space when it comes to fashion? Because fashion is art, right? And so often, sometimes art and tech butt heads and don't really work together, but it's also so important these days. And you guys do such a great job, especially on social media, trying to tell your story through the tech side of things.
Well, yeah, it's two parts of tech. You have the tech side where it's, apps and AI and things of that nature. We've played around with a little bit of both. Then you have the actual technical side, right? Sometimes every idea may not translate well into the physical because of that. Sometimes me and Matt, we can come with some crazy ideas and like, what if we did, and then, we talk to, the factories and they're like, yeah, we could do it, but it's going to be like an 8-month process. And we don't have 8 months. So we want to do a better job of giving ourselves a little bit more lead time. But as far as the social aspect, that's everything, man. Storytelling, getting people to understand who we are as individuals, as well as the brand. I want people, when they wear whatever it is we've created, to feel a certain way, and not have to speak, but let the piece speak for itself.
Well, we are so excited for the Wavy Through It All collection to drop this Friday, July 11th. Kid, thank you so much for joining us in studio. We appreciate what you guys come up with.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. We appreciate it on behalf of odds.
Absolutely. Keep up with all things 191 Collabs at MemGriz, at Grind City Media, at Odds Atelier on socials. The collection drops Wavy Through It All July 11th. We will take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll do some WTF stories. You don't have to take your shoes off at airports anymore. That's wild. We'll get into it when we come back.
Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. And Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at LiveNation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
1, 2, 3. Ready, go.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit Shinedown.com.
All right, reflection time. 42-21, entering your 6th season. Of the 42, which one do you think about the most?
Probably was the Liberty Bowl win versus Iowa State.
Iowa State.
That was a big one. To win in that fashion, we were, I think, it was the biggest underdog game we had all season. 10-point underdog, wherever the heck it was. And they go out there and feel like we actually single-handedly won the game. No fluke plays, just went out there and took care of business.
The better team.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
The Tigers are going to play in November in the Bahamas, the Baha Mar tournament, and the other teams expected to be there. Purdue, Wake Forest, and possibly Texas Tech. So Texas Tech's going to be good. Purdue's going to be good. If you don't have a roster that puts you in that same conversation, that could be a tough trip to the Bahamas.
Yep.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What can the Memphis Grizzlies learn from the Thunder Pacers NBA Finals series?
Your style of play is not something that you really have to change. Both of these teams love to play fast. Both these teams love to play really aggressively on the defensive side of the ball.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back. Time for some WTF stories before we get on to the rest of our Wednesday. You don't have to take your shoes off at the airport anymore to go through TSA. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says the policy change goes into place immediately, and you no longer have to remove your shoes as part of routine airport security screenings. She said it's important that we keep people safe, but also streamline and make the process more enjoyable. They also said that they were trying to make airports more efficient because of the upcoming large number of travelers for both the World Cup and the Olympics. CJ, what do you think about not having to take your shoes off at the airport anymore?
Listen, I'm one a big time flyer, but I've flown a time or two. I thought that we all knew it was more performative than actually helpful. Yeah. I thought that's what we all knew. So getting rid of the performative aspect of this is great. I'm down with it. That's why I'm so glad Kristi Noem is in charge of things. I think even Cricket would agree that this is a good job by Kristi Noem. That's good stuff.
Cricket.
Yes, Cricket. I'll never forget that Kristi Noem story. I'll forget a lot of things, especially politically. I'll forget a lot of things. I'll never forget where I was when I found out the world was losing its mind because Kristi Noem had that run-in with the homie Cricket. But yeah, no, if it's not actually keeping us safe, what are we doing? Why are we doing it?
Well, she's now on, the next time you fly, she pops up on the video screen and talks to you when you're in line for security because they're making sure everyone is having their real IDs. This is the thing. Like, it's loosely implied that the reason you don't have to take your shoes off anymore is because the technology is so much better. And I don't think they're necessarily talking about technology of the X-ray machines. I think it's more just like knowing everybody who's going through an airport at all times, which is so freaky. And as somebody who has not taken their shoes off in years because I pay for TSA Pre, which is the greatest thing that I pay for. Okay, no, it is not of that. It is the best thing. If you travel more than 5 times a year and you don't pay for TSA Pre, or get a credit card. My credit card comes with it. So it comes with the fee that I pay for my credit card. Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't pay for it. I don't pay for it to not take off my shoes in security. I pay for it because the lines of security are insane at some of these airports now. And even the TSA Pre lines have gotten insane because everybody's been turned on to TSA Pre. So now maybe that everyone can not have to take off their shoes. Maybe there will be some people out there who don't feel the need to pay for TSA Pre because maybe they simply did not want to take their shoes off because it gives them the ick to have bare feet or socked feet on an airport floor, which it also absolutely does. But in all of this, I've just recognized more and more, like even when you're checking in for security, you only show sometimes you only scan your boarding pass. No, you show your ID. Sometimes you only show your ID, and then it's able to connect your boarding pass from there. But when we came back from Antigua, CJ, get prepared to do your ooh. We also have global entry now, which was something that we decided we needed to do because we have really tight layovers, go for it. Ooh. We needed to get back quickly from Antigua. And then also when we go to Europe this fall, we have a really tight layover in Atlanta. And both the Miami and Atlanta airports are notorious for sometimes just having like the worst security lines and really tough customs lines to go through too. And so when we landed from Antigua in Miami, there's an app. And we go to that app and say, we've arrived in the port city of Miami, and it has your global entry information in it. And then you walk to customs and you go to like the special global entry side of it. And you just walk through and it catches you on camera and it links to the app that you alerted them that you were there now. And you go past the customs agent and you don't even have to show your passport. They're like, welcome back, Miss Benson. And I was like, this is the weirdest. I was like, are you sure you don't want to see my passport? Are you sure I can't give you further documentation?
I'm not sure I like that. I forgot.
So that's where I thought with it all.
I forgot we had this button. I should have just played this instead of the ooh. Hold on. Well, flex on them then. We hadn't flexed in a minute.
Man, we haven't flexed and we haven't gotten our ass up and gotten to work either.
Do I even have that button still?
I don't know if you
It's
still
here.
have that button.
It's here.
That
It's
is one
here.
of my
So
favorites.
if we ever need to update ourselves on what's going on with those people, we can play it. Yeah.
Well, I did see somebody.
Say what?
I saw somebody say that they went to an airport yesterday and like TSA was screaming at people because TSA can never just talk in normal voices at all.
Got to make sure the people in the back can hear you.
Really invigorating experience. And apparently they were screaming at people who were taking their shoes off. And I was like, whoa, give the people some time. We have been told since 2001 when they had that shoe bomb threat after like a couple months after 9/11 that we had to take off our shoes because it was such a security risk. And we've been doing that for 20 plus years. It's going to take some time to uncondition people to believe that they need to not take off their shoes anymore.
Okay, I can see what you're saying, but I know people. I know how focused we can be on the task at hand. I guarantee you there were signs up at that airport that said, hey, don't take your shoes off. You don't have to take your shoes off anymore. Please don't take your shoes off. I guarantee you there were multiple signs going into the TSA checkout line and people were just ignoring the signs or just unaware that the signs were there. Because you know how how it is when you're traveling. You're just trying to go through. You're not paying attention to anything that's going on around you. As somebody who traveled all the way to Tanzania last summer with some older people, just to flex a little bit, they aren't the most attentive to detail. They're not paying a whole lot of attention at what they're doing as they're going through the airport. So I can understand why you would be yelling as a TSA agent. And that's something that's a new career for me to consider. I might need to be a TSA agent if I could yell at people. Like that would be fun.
Because you have no care on like
no politeness,
making someone uncomfortable.
Yeah, making people real uncomfortable. Spread
There's
them.
nothing worse.
Let's go back of the hand and go down. Let's do the search.
There's like nothing worse than coming back from like the trip we were just on, obviously relaxing beach vacation, and then you're back in an American airport and TSA screaming at you, and the people are just no one's in a good mood in an airport. And I think the Miami airport and the Newark airport are two of the worst welcome back to America airports that you could be in. The Newark airport is unleashed because it's not just the general like upsetness that comes with being in an airport. It's in New Jersey. So they're like extra. It's the Jerseyness of it. Like they're so mean. They're screaming at you. They don't have the time of day for you. If you do the littlest thing, take like 2 seconds wrong, you get yelled at. But then the people behind you are also mad. But then the people in front of you are also slow as hell. It's a very unfortunate
Did I tell you, coming back, going through, what's it called, Heathrow? I thought my mom was going to legit be detained in England because she got into it with one of their, I don't know if they call them TSA, but she got into it with one of those people over there. It's like, lady, you are in a foreign nation. My mom, the entire trip, said some pretty interesting things about her experience in America. And in that moment, she's like, yo, you can't treat me like this. Do you know what I am? I'm an American, damn it. I was like, wait a second. Whoa.
I never fight.
Happening?
I never fight with TSA. When I was a kid, we took these, I think I've talked about the show. I was part of this performing group that would go work in Disneyland for a couple weeks every summer. And so it was always like the same group of us traveling for the most part, those of us who had been together for a long time. And one of the guys in our group who was always, like the one who pushed buttons a little bit here and there, but we were in line for TSA and we probably were like 13 or 14 at this point. And he not yelled, but like said loudly enough. He's like, what if I had a bomb in my suitcase? And they treated that so, yes, he is a dum-dum. And they decided to like make an example out of him. And so they took him back to like the special, he almost missed the flight. They did the whole like bomb sweep on him and he came back and like told it like he had gone off to war and thought he was never going to see his family again and thought he was going to end up in a prison system. But from that point forward, I was like, I will never even make a comment being rude because I know what they can do. They can take you back and I don't know if you'll make your flight, and flights are too difficult as it is to have any extra inconveniences or extra time thrown at you in the security situation. Anyway, that'll do it for today's show. A beautiful Wednesday. We'll be back tomorrow. It'll be Thursday. I'll still be in Salt Lake City. DJ will still be in Memphis. I don't know what I'm going to do in Salt Lake today. I get kicked out of my hotel room at 11 and have to move into another hotel room at 4. So I gotta
Request a
find
late
someplace
checkout.
to hang out. I did. Something's happening in Salt Lake. All of the hotels are booked. They won't give you a late checkout unless I want to pay $300, which I'm not doing. And so I'm going to go sit in a lobby somewhere. I don't know. It's 99 degrees outside. We'll figure it out. I'll let you know what I get into tomorrow. Everybody have a great rest of your day. We'll see you then. Bye.